She never looked back. No guilt, no hesitation, not even a second thought. She betrayed me like I was nothing like I would always be there, waiting for her. She thought I'd break, that I'd chase her, beg her to explain, ask her why. But instead, I disappeared. And now? Now, she's the one searching, desperate to find the man she once took for granted. But the problem is, I'm no longer the man she left behind. I should have seen it coming. The late nights, the distant stares, the way she turned her phone away when I was near. At first, I ignored it. I told myself it was just stress, that things would go back to normal. But then, I found out the truth. It wasn't an accident. I wasn't snooping. The truth didn't need to be uncovered. It was carelessly left for me to see. A message. Last night was amazing. I can't wait to see you again. I stared at the screen, feeling nothing. No anger, no pain, just a hollow emptiness. I looked at her, sitting across the room, laughing at something on her phone, completely unaware that in just a few moments everything had changed. She didn't hide it. She didn't even try. 'Cause she thought I'd always be there. She thought she could betray me without consequence. She thought I was replaceable. So that night, while she slept peacefully beside me, I made a choice. I didn't argue, I didn't scream, I didn't demand answers. I just left. And she had no idea. She would spend the rest of her life trying to find me. She slept soundly beside me, unaware that everything was about to change. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall, listening to her soft breathing. Just hours ago, I had seen the message, the proof that the woman I had once loved, the woman I had given everything to, had betrayed me without a second thought. But I didn't feel rage. I didn't feel heartbreak. I just felt done. I stood up, moving quietly through the room. I wasn't in a hurry. This was a moment I wanted to remember. I grabbed my bag, packed only the essentials. No pictures, no gifts, nothing that would tie me to this place. Then I walked to the door. For a moment, I hesitated. Not because I doubted my decision, but because I knew she would never expect this. She thought I'd stay, that I would wake up beside her in the morning like always, that I would endure her lies, her deception, her selfishness. But this time I was leaving her before she had the chance to leave me. I stepped out of the bedroom, grabbed my keys, and without a single word, I was gone. She wouldn't realize it until morning. And by then, I would be nothing but a ghost. She woke up expecting everything to be the same. She probably stretched, checked her phone, scrolled through messages, maybe even a text from the man she betrayed me for. But then, she noticed the empty space beside her. No warmth, no presence, just silence. She called my name, maybe assuming I was in another room. But when she stepped out and saw what I had left behind, nothing, her heart must have sunk. No clothes in the closet. No keys on the table. No sign of me anywhere. That's when the panic set in. She checked her phone. No missed calls from me. No messages. She tried calling, straight to voicemail. She sent texts. Where are you? Why aren't you answering? What's going on? No response. Because for the first time, I was the one who left first. And the longer my silence stretched, the more reality crashed down on her. I wasn't coming back. And she? She was finally feeling the emptiness she had created for herself. At first, she told herself I just needed space. That I was upset, maybe hurt, and that after a few days I would come back. But as the days turned into weeks, her confidence shattered. She started calling every day. Blocked numbers, voicemails, messages that got no response. Please, just talk to me. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just want to explain. But the only thing that ever answered her was silence. That's when the regret began to eat her alive. She started asking mutual friends about me. Have you seen him? Does he ever talk about me? Do you know where he is? But no one could help her. Because I had cut off every connection, every trace, every path back to me. She wasn't losing me anymore. Raish had already lost me the night she betrayed me. What she was really losing now? The illusion that I would always be there. And when that realization finally hit her, she broke. Now she was the one chasing me. And I was the one who had already moved on. After months of searching, after endless unanswered messages, she finally found me. Not because I reached out, not because I missed her, but because fate has a cruel way of making people face their worst mistakes. I was at a high-end cafe, drinking my coffee, completely at peace. I had rebuilt myself, grown into the man she never believed I could be. I was different now, stronger, untouchable. And then she walked in. I felt her presence before I even looked up. A sharp inhale, a sudden pause in movement, the kind of hesitation that comes when someone is staring at a ghost from their past. I turned my head slowly, locking eyes with her. She stood frozen in place, her breath shaky, her eyes wide with shock, disbelief, regret, maybe even fear. "I finally found you," she whispered, stepping closer, her voice trembling. I didn't respond. I just tilted my head slightly, watching her. No emotion, no warmth, just quiet, unshaken indifference. She swallowed hard, her hands gripping the strap of her purse like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. You just left," she said, her voice breaking. "No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. Do you have any idea what that did to me?" I let out a small, amused breath. "Do you have any idea what you did to me?" She flinched. She had no answer. Because we both knew this wasn't about me leaving. It was about the fact that I never looked back. She hesitated for a moment, as if she was still processing the fact that I was real, that I wasn't just a memory, but a man who had walked away and never looked back. Slowly, she pulled out the chair across from me and sat down, her fingers fidgeting with the edge of the table. "I've been looking for you," she admitted softly, her voice raw. I leaned back, watching her. "I know." Her brows furrowed slightly. "You know?" I took a slow sip of my coffee before meeting her gaze. Of course, I just didn't care. The words hit her like a slap. She swallowed hard, blinking rapidly like she was trying to stop herself from breaking down. "I know I hurt you," she whispered, "and I don't expect you to forgive me, but I just—" "Then why are you here?" I cut in, my voice calm, detached. She inhaled sharply, her fingers gripping the table like she was afraid I'd disappear again. "Because," she hesitated, searching for the right words, "because I made the biggest mistake of my life." I let out a quiet chuckle, shaking my head. "No," I said, leaning forward slightly, locking eyes with her. "You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice." Her breath hitched. She opened her mouth to argue, but no words came out. Because she knew the truth, she had chosen someone else. She had chosen to betray me, and now she had to live with it. "I miss you," she finally whispered, her voice cracking. "I miss everything about us. I miss the way you made me feel." And there it was. The truth she never wanted to admit. She didn't miss me. She missed what I gave her. She missed the security, the loyalty, the love, the things she threw away without a second thought. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. "The problem," I said, my voice calm but final, "is that you didn't miss me when it mattered." Her eyes widened slightly, like she hadn't expected me to say it out loud, like she hadn't prepared for this version of me, the version that no longer needed her. "So that's it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "You're really done with me?" I stood up, adjusting my jacket, my gaze never leaving hers. I was done the moment I walked away. She stared at me, completely shattered. Because this time, she had no second chance. No way to undo what she did. She had lost me. Forever, she sat there, frozen. Her hands trembled slightly as she reached for her glass of water, but she didn't take a sip. Her lips parted, as if she wanted to say something, to beg, to plead, to hold on to something. But there was nothing left to hold on to. Because I had already let go. She had spent months searching for me, convincing herself that if she could just find me, if she could just say the right words, I would give her another chance. But now she knew the truth. Some things, they can never be undone. She looked up at me, her face filled with the kind of regret that never fades. "I don't know how to live with this," she whispered, her voice cracking. I exhaled slowly, staring down at the woman who once meant everything to me. Then maybe, I said, my voice calm, controlled, and final. You shouldn't have thrown me away. Her entire body went still. The realization hit her all at once. Sesh had done this to herself. I turned and walked toward the exit, never once looking back. She could chase me in her mind, relive every memory, regret every moment. But she would never have me again. She sat there long after I was gone. The world around her kept moving, people laughing, drinking, living their lives. But she was trapped. Trapped in the moment she lost me. Trapped in the past she could never return to. And as she stared at the empty seat I left behind, a single tear slipped down her cheek. Not because she missed me, but because she missed the version of herself she was when she had me. And now? Now she would have to live with the fact that she would never have that again. Meanwhile, I stepped out into the cool evening air, feeling lighter than I had in years. I had wasted no words, no anger, no energy. I had simply moved on. And that was the kind of revenge no apology could ever erase. Some people don't regret losing you. They regret losing the life they had with you. And once you realize that, you'll never look back.